These miraculous healings are very obviously nothing more than simple stagecraft and sleight of hand. They're designed to play upon the ignorance of the audience and the hopes of the prospective patient. But not only are these faith healings ridiculous, but they can be disastrous. Patients are often encouraged to throw away medications that their bodies need to continue functioning, and often become seriously ill or even die as a result. During a performance by Catherine Coleman, a woman discarded her back brace and claimed that her cancer was cured, only to die 2 months later when x-rays showed that a vertebra had been weakened by cancer and collapsed due to the sudden strain that she placed on it at that moment. Holy Anthony, the leader of the Trinity Foundation, which is a group dedicated to exposing fraudulent faith healers, and I know that's redundant, but upon being asked what motivated him to do his work, he responded with the story of a 13-year-old girl with multiple sclerosis. She had seen a testimonial produced by a faith healer where an actress claimed to have been cured of multiple sclerosis after making a $1,000 vow of faith to the healer in question. Over the course of a year, this 13-year-old girl raised the $1,000 mostly from her grandmother and donated it to the healer. And when her condition continued to worsen, she called this man of God, at which point he told her that she was not healed because of the secret sin in her life. That if she had only been more holy, more righteous, more faithful, the healing would have worked. The girl, now 14, went into her backyard, poured a can of gasoline on herself, and lit herself on fire. By definition,
poured the gasoline on him and lit him on fire.
By definition, says Tim Minchin, alternative medicine either has not been proved to work or has been proved not to work. You know what they call alternative medicine that has been proved to work? Medicine. The existence of faith healers, whether they be money-grubbing televangelists or parents who have been legitimately deceived, is nothing short of a stain on the face of scientific advancement. We can treat diabetes. We can treat cancer. We can cure leprosy. We have eradicated smallpox. You know the old saying, why won't God heal amputees? Science will. And if we could do more stem cell research, we could cure the blind. We could make the deaf hear. We can accomplish medical miracles that the authors of the Bible never would have dreamed of, and we can do it because of honest, skeptical inquiry into the nature of the world. And the fact that so many people have been deceived into believing that the best method of healing is to throw money at a magical stage performer or to put the life of your child into the hands of a deity who will abandon you when you need him most is, to put it very mildly, disgusting. This is Madeline Cara Newman. She's 11 years old. She's a victim of perfect faith. I'll now open the floor to questions.
Not really a question, but recently I saw an article that was talking about a 16-year-old whose parents, when he, instead of taking him to the doctor for his appendix, it burst. So they were trying to pray and stuff, but obviously he just died. And that's very simple to take care of too. So.
Isn't it something, I think you mentioned the figure, but isn't it something like a couple hundred kids?
It's 300 kids since 1990, so that's 12 kids a year die because their parents won't take them to a doctor.
Of course, I'm sure we've all heard of the Harvard studies that were done on prayer and the efficiency of prayer, and the people who were being prayed for and knew they were being prayed for all did worse than the ones that were not being prayed for.
But
a couple thousand people.
But the Templeton Foundation, I mean, they had an excuse, right? They did. Like, well, obviously, prayer in this kind of manner is not serious prayer, and so, obviously, their deity saw through
it's
that.
Not legitimate prayer.
Yeah, so he knew this was some kind of experiment, so he just that was their excuse that they threw.
When religion doesn't work, it becomes unknowable.
Yeah.
I do have to cry foul on one part. You said
What was
that the parents did everything in their power, and they certainly it was
obviously
in their power to go to a hospital.
Obviously, they didn't do everything that was in their power, but they did everything that they thought was a legitimate option.
People ask me why I'm so dedicated to helping push religion off the cliff sooner than it's going to die on its own. It's not just for extreme cases like this where, you know, a husband and wife were so deluded, so bullshitted by religion that they thought they were doing everything like you said they should. You know, they going to take her to a hospital was a sign of weakness. They couldn't do that. You know, she won't be cured if you know, do that. So we have to do this. And they prayed, and she dies right in front of them. And they still to this day, you know, which cognitive dissonance, they can't let go of it. I mean, it'd be a horrible thing to admit to yourself that you let your child die in horrible agony over months.
Dale,
which is what they did.
Dale, the father, actually mentioned after this entire debacle was over that he still believed God was going to raise her from the dead.
Yeah, you got to keep that because as a parent, to finally say, I was just stupid and bullshitted by this horrible thing. And so these are the extreme cases, right? But I guess what puts the fire in my belly is not just, I mean, these extreme cases are horrible enough, but that people are deluded every day. I don't care if it's Eastern religion or Christianity or Islam or whatever it is. The average person is horribly deluded and lied to in great detail by any of these religions. They're all horseshit. They're all crap. And sometimes they go to this extreme. Other times they just go to moderate. Well, it's okay because we get some community out of it and we get some this and that. But you're still being lied to and deluded. And I think one of the best evidences I've seen, and Evan and David were with me, is when we went to the Christ Ambassadors and we asked the Christian apologist who gave his talk, real nice guy, I've had lunch with him, wonderful guy, and I said, you know, you have your students here, all your reasons for Christianity and all your whatever, do you ever have them read Richard Dawkins or any of the skeptical literature, or do you have them, if they read the real heavy-duty Christian apologists, the full-blown big guys, do you then have them read, you know, Richard Carey or any other scholars? And he gave a very honest, forward answer. He said, well, no, I don't. He said, because as their spiritual guide, you know, I don't think they should, yeah, you know, I don't think I should steer them in that religion, which, yeah, information kills religion. And if you educate people, they can't believe in this bullshit, and that's what this bullshit does. It's insane. We gotta let it go. We gotta quit letting it just be a normal part of our culture. I don't care which culture. Buddhism is full of shit as Christianity, and so is Islam, etc. And those are the extreme cases, but what it does to people regularly, power of prayer and all the other crap, it's amazing. It's just amazing. Yeah, that 11-year-old girl died for absolutely no reason at all.
16-year-old boy, and many other cases.
Yeah.
I know Faircloth talks
No, it
about a few
doesn't ever
things
hear
that
about
I,
100 since 93.
in his
And
book,
we
he
don't
had
hear,
to.
there's
Talk
probably
about
a
it
bunch
in
of them we
speech.
never hear
Right,
about
yeah.
too that never make it to court cases or whatever. And how many kids suffer through needless illnesses for how many years? No.
Yeah,
Rita
the other
Swan, who founded
Oh, yeah,
the
there
Children's
were.
Healthcare's Illegal Duty Foundation, had a very similar story with her son who died when he was 18 months old, I think, of some kind of very treatable condition. She was a Christian Scientist who is no longer a Christian Scientist because of that. And she said of it that she knew if she went to a doctor, she would be cut off from God.
Sure, that's what they're told. It's insane.
How is it possible to be fired from being a Christian Scientist?
She wasn't fired, she left. Albeit,
That was supposed to be a Christian Scientist.
I mean, if you're watching someone die in front of you praying, I mean, how much worse can it possibly get?
The best part is when you were quoting Mark 16, right, and the later verses 18 through whatever, right? When you know, the healing, the laying out of the hands, the speaking in tongues, the handling snakes and stuff, right? Which is where the snake handlers and those people get their, that's the only verse in the Bible that talks about you can drink poison and handle snakes,
Right.
not kill. And every year or two, some guy in West Virginia just died about 6 months ago because he finally got bit by a rattler.
Yeah, he was a pastor. His dad also pastored that church and died
Yeah.
from getting bit by a snake.
Okay, the best part of that
Yeah,
is,
no, but it's interesting that evidence means nothing to them.
no, well, they've been brainwashed by it.
you didn't have enough faith.
The Baptists and the other evangelicals don't go that far. They won't be stupid and handle snakes, but at the same time, they'll tell their kids that the Bible is inerrant, you know, that it can't, it's perfectly true and it's perfectly right, yet those verses you quoted from Mark, okay, are one of 6 endings of Mark. The earliest manuscripts of Mark end at 16:8, and they told no one. There's 6 other endings throughout all the manuscripts, and one of them includes the snake handling thing. So, you know, and it just makes your blood boil. Somebody tell these people, guess what? Your whole religion, handling snakes, etc., is based on a lie. Okay, and if you tell your kids the Bible's inerrant, okay, or inerrant, read all the different endings. There can't be 6 different endings to Mark. One of them is wrong. Throw the Bible out. It's wrong.
Multiple dimensions.
Actually, 5 of them are wrong.
Huh?
5 of them are
At
wrong.
Least 5. At least 5. Well, it ain't inerrant.
Yeah.
Right?
I could say all 6 are.
Only
Right.
the one that they actually put in. is
Exactly,
right.
I wouldn't give it that much, I'd say all of them are pretty much wrong.
You know, so
I'll-
where do you draw the line? The faith healers are blatantly lying, right? But go to the Christian apologist websites, and it says we believe in the Bible because of the eyewitness testimony. They all mention it. And then you actually read Bible history. There are no eyewitnesses. There's no eyewitnesses in the Old Testament, or in the New Testament. None. Yet they perpetrate that lie. So, you know, we get incensed over this. We ought to be just as incensed over, you're lying to your children every day about this crap, you know, and religious indoctrination and, you know, et cetera. It's unbelievable.
I've
Do
actually,
the faith healing statistics also include refusal of blood transfusions?
I looked that up.
Is it the Jehovah's people?
Yeah,
Jehovah's
Jehovah's
Witnesses,
Witnesses.
they have bracelets that they put on them in hospitals that say Jehovah's Witnesses do not transfuse. And one thing that I did find very helpful is that those bracelets can be put on children, but the hospital does not have to listen to them.
Really?
So if
If the child's
if a
minor?
child's life is at risk, even if they have a Jehovah's Witness blood transfusion bracelet, hospital can transfuse anyway, and then the parents can take them to court, but the hospital will win every time.
I've actually witnessed similar things. I can't say, like we were talking about, if the people know that they're bullshitting everyone else, why do they continue doing it like that? And actually, it's sometimes the pastor, it's almost like it's wrong to say, like the Hitler's preaches and like that, and get such a arousal out of the speeches and like that, you get so energetic. And in Kettersburg, Pennsylvania, my parents' home church, I've actually witnessed spiritual healing. It gets so much of an uproar that the pastor gets such an arousal out of it, that the person also gets so much of an arousal out of it, that I remember specifically a woman was having lung issues. She was having trouble breathing. And so she went up to the altar, they were praying over her, and everyone started singing, you name it, jumping up and down. And she became so aroused and jumping up and down, she totally lost sight of her pain and just came overjoyed and happy. And so you ask her, do you feel any pain? At the moment, no, she's jumping up and down, screaming, happy. The pastor thinks he just healed her. And so blindly, he just lied to everyone.
It's nothing more than adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, and later on,
Yeah, she's not healed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's still in
They're
pain.
reeling her out.
So sometimes I don't doubt that most, especially televangelists, bullshit everyone for money. But also there's someone, a lot out there that bullshit without even intentionally doing it.
Blindly doing it.
course
Yeah,
they
they think that they really are doing good. Yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean, it's like
like-
Joel Osteen.
like the
man's,
parents.
It's like
one
Karen
man
Newman's
published
parents.
house, right?
I'm sure there were many days those parents thought, oh, she's getting better, she feels good today.
Yeah, it's so sad. It really is.